Hello. Hang on. Why
All right.
is this thing?
Testing.
Come on. There we are.
Are we good?
Testing. We're good.
We're
All
good.
right, everyone sit down. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the December 19th live edition of The Ravens Flock.
How did it feel pulling that "of" out of your mouth?
It
looks
felt
like
just as good as slamming Sephiroth on his ass in our last episode.
It feels like you needed some help.
That one.
Did you strain anything?
That one came
No,
from
I'm
the
good.
heart. Trust
That
me.
one came from the brutal heart.
You may be entitled to financial compensation.
I'll be fine.
If I wear my mask all day, I'm turned to visual condensation as well. But nobody talks about that one.
All right, folks, we have a lot to talk about. Every week, there's always something cooking up in the news that's nerd-related for everyone around. I'm your host, Jose Casabona, and also host of the Wednesday Night War. Joining me on my left is the host of Los Amigos Play, the man without a filter, uncompromising, unrestrained, unhinged, Mr. Angel Mendez.
The FBI is gonna knock down on this door any second now.
And
I'll die being right.
I blame you all.
It's okay. And joining me on my right is the host of the Black Files and the man who puts in the man hours behind the production quality of our contents that we put out on our channels every single week, Mr. Juan Arouse.
What? Yeah. Actually, you know, I was going to say, why do you Mr. me? But no. Yes, Mr. me.
I Mr. him. I got to Mr. you.
All right.
It wouldn't be fair if I Mr. one and then not the other.
Yeah, everybody deserves a cool reminder of the ravages
Teacher,
of time
teacher,
crashing
fifth
down
grade-
upon our shoulders as the sands of time crawl down to our bones, reminding us that every day
Preacher,
we crawl
preacher,
slightly
fifth
closer
grade
to the
teacher.
painful
You can't
grasp
teach
of
me. My
entropy
mom
within
can't
life.
neither.
Hey, speak for
Easy,
yourself.
but
I'm not the one
Comcast
with an
cable.
existing crisis.
Bro, we're getting old.
Yeah, but it's
I'm
okay.
old.
We may look like we're getting old, but our souls and our spirits will remain young
We age fine like vinegar.
and find wine.
Forever young.
Yes,
I
indeed.
want to be forever young.
Do you really want
think it's
to
important-
forever?
All right, so while we're buddying up, I think it's important we put out a couple of disclaimers. First of all, if you hear the sound of fans in the background, we cannot help it. That is because this room is extremely hot. This will
fine.
not get in the way of our programming.
Yep.
We're undergoing some technical renovations that will be done by next week or so, but in the meantime, please bear with these somewhat unpleasant conditions.
And
Think of it as a bunch of construction signs just spread all over the place. We
little.
should be wearing hard hats and shit.
Pretty much. We are, of course, simulcasting on both twitch.tv/The Ravens Flock online and youtube.com/The Ravens Flock. If you're watching us from YouTube, yes, hit the subscribe and hit the notification button on the bottom right of the screen.
Down here.
Right,
Point at
what-
his crotch.
Yes, where
Angel,
angels
point
look.
down.
When will this harassment of my persona end?
Angel, point down this way.
Fine.
It's not our fault you're sitting in the far right.
There we go.
And of course, if you have anything you want to say, leave your comments and questions down below, whether it's from your desktop or mobile device, and we will answer them while we are live. And I will say, folks, since last week, it has been an exciting time to be a wrestling fan, or even if you're not a wrestling fan, you know, there's a lot of good news to enjoy. Like, personally, I'm excited because of a new revolution with different wrestling promotions working together, and it's awesome and it's great. I like that stars are going in between brands and they're showcasing themselves while representing their respected companies, whether it's AEW, Impact Wrestling, Mexican AAA, New Japan Pro Wrestling, NWA, and so on. It don't matter because everyone wins.
Unless, of course, you happen to be the single largest conglomerated corporation in the world that produces the finest in live action entertainment for the masses. That totally is not professional wrestling. We don't use that word. It's a dirty word that Paul Heyman said in 2001. We don't call it professional
Don't
wrestling
forget,
anymore.
the Twitter symbol is not a bird. It's just shaped like a bird.
It's just
Yeah, I
shaped
know.
like a
Of
bird.
course, when he's talking about World Wrestling Entertainment, WWE. Most specific, WWE, they have their own programmings, but the program show that everyone remembers to this day, even the eyes to the layman, is Monday Night Raw.
The single longest running episodic weekly live entertainment event in all of live entertainment.
Yes.
Fucking Michael Cole, shut the fuck up.
Now, point of view here. Point of view from the guy who is not a dedicated fan of wrestling. Even people like me, whenever we turn on the TV at a certain time of the night, we would get at least 2 or 3 ads for that stuff per day, depending on the channel. In channels like Spike TV and Sci-Fi, or just generally movie channels, WWE would insert at least one Monday Night Raw, like at some hour of the night.
That is true.
Usually in between the Howard Stern commercials.
That
But
is true.
They would put at least one in almost every channel every single day. Do you have an idea how much money you have to throw away to be able to put a commercial in so many channels on prime time slots?
Well, before I run down to WWE with a flaming truck, I do need to talk a little bit about its history of Monday Night Raw. It started off in January 1994 or 93. It was somewhere there, and it's
So
been
much for the number one history of wrestling fan in
Shut
the group
up.
here.
I never said that.
The beginnings
So
of
anyways.
Monday Night are nebulously lost in the
And
sands of time.
And since its inception, it's garnered in some decent ratings, even going head to head against its competitor WCW in the mid '90s.
Quite
However, in between 1996 and 1997, the Monday Night Raw ratings have been going down, losing to the competition. after
1993, Joe.
That
thank you.
early?
1993.
Yep, it's as old as our baby sister. Hi,
Okay,
Aisha.
folks. Then, of course, with the ratings going down because of the WCW ushering in the revolution of the New World Order, the WWF had to make a change and changed up their content, moving into the Attitude Era of late 1997 until the end of 2001. They went to a more adult, more contemporary, more aggressive content to combat against WCW, and in doing so, they overtook the Monday Night ratings. In fact, the highest rating show that they had with the most viewership would be on the May 22nd, 2000 edition of Raw, bringing in 7.1 million viewers.
In one shot.
That is the highest viewing show in history. The second highest
Very
rated show would
impressive.
be years later in the PG era, in their 1000th episode of Monday Night Raw in 2012, where they brought in 6 million viewers.
You gotta consider in those times just how much time and effort it takes to have people coordinate and synchronize to one specific time frame just to see that one amazing sports event. That's not the kind of thing you will see ever again in this time.
However, the WWE took a free fall in the coming years, drawing in an average of between 2.5 million to 2 million viewers, and unfortunately, it got worse because the programming, the content of Monday Night Raw could be described as, oh, Juan, how would you put it delicately?
Delicately, you say?
I say delicately,
With like
but I know
surgeon
you're not going
gloves
to be
and
delicate.
glass tweezers, you gotta
Okay.
grab this one.
Okay. Brain surgery precision and care.
Like a laser with a tiny little buzzsaw and everything.
Using an enchromatic scanner with a high resolution filter so precise that you can clip the wings of an angel dancing on the head of a pin. That sensitively. Shit sucks, motherfucker!
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh my fucking god! It's the years since, I would say, 2013, 14.
I would say around that time, that's when the ratings started going down.
You would see, we've noticed a steady and continuous decline in quality of the production of Monday Night Raw, along with its sister program SmackDown, which changes to being Tuesday or Thursday or Friday. It's been in every other day of the week other than Monday for the past
Desperately trying
20
to
years.
capture that number that he never got again.
Pretty much.
And since then, Monday Night Raw has been losing viewers. Namely, the coveted what do you call it, demographic that a lot of advertisers like are the young adult males, the 18 to 49 demographic, and those guys, because they're young, they're impressionable, they've got money to spend.
Of course.
But
Love violence.
yeah, they love violence, which is why for like the weirdest amount of time, instead of being on the USA Network, Monday Night Raw was airing on Spike TV, aka the Man in Testosterones and Men in Trucks and Fighting in the Woodsman's channel with boobas.
I will never forget how they actually ran a special about basically man jobs to do, and they outright said, "Hey man, what is the best way to masturbate?" And they outright told you is with veal.
Now, here's the thing.
Wait, what?
Now, we want to make something clear. We do not, by any means, blame any of the talent, any of the performers of the WWE. They're just doing what they do best. They
Nor
try
do
to
we
put on good
endorse
matches.
ruining some perfectly good pieces of veal with your dick. Please.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, we don't do
No. The
We have
real
technology for that.
the real blame has to be the powers that be backstage, the creative engine that is responsible for putting out the content of WWE.
Notice the
Dudes in
irony.
suits, I'm guessing.
Not really.
Not really.
Well, there's one dude in the suit. We'll get to him in a
I'll
minute.
get to him in a minute, but as of right now, I do need to report that this week's edition of Monday Night Raw on December 15th drew in its record lowest viewership recorded in television history, a whopping 1.52 million viewers.
Now, that may seem like a large number of people, but consider that just a moment ago we told you this was the show that used to bring in between 5 to 7 times that much, which means that since 2000, you say 2013 is when
2013 is when it started
it
declining.
has been 8 years. In less than 1 decade, it has literally lost 10% of its power every single year. By the way, was 2000 I can't say the word thousand now.
2000.
1000 salad fucking
2013.
dressing. Ever since
that
that year. Was that when it began to become common knowledge that it was filled with internal problems, or was that something that was like an open secret and then it just began to spread like a
something
parasite?
that's been an open secret because
I would say around 2009, 2010 was when it started becoming an open secret. That
So the public opinion of them was already low, and then they started getting lackluster content, so the viewership began to go down as well, right?
pretty much.
Let me check something real quick.
Go right ahead. And as he's checking something, a lot of people backstage, even the WWE talent, they were all shocked and disappointed that the ratings would go down. However, things went from bad to worse because now the executives of the USA Network took notice and they're infuriated with WWE with the low record ratings. According to WrestlingInc.com. This was put out on December 18th, yesterday. USA Network reportedly upset with WWE Raw ratings. As we've noted, Monday's go home angle of Raw, which is the Raw before their annual pay-per-view of WWE TLC, which is this Sunday on December 20th, drew an average of 1.527 million viewers, down 12% from last week's 1.737 million viewers. Raw's show drew a new all-time low in total viewership, a new all-time low in viewership for each hour, and a new all-time low in the key demographic. Furthermore, last week's Wednesday edition of AEW Dynamite episode drew a .45 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic, which beat every hour of this week's Raw in that same demo.
Jesus Christ. Just like that.
Yes, and WWE officials aren't the only ones. Both WWE officials and USA Network executives are both angry about this. According to Alex McCarthy on Talk Sport, it was noted that USA Network management is furious with the drop in ratings, and they want more dark and violent content. In a
world filled with cynicism, let's just bring more darkness.
USA Networks are furious in this quote. They want more adult content, not sexy adult, but dark and violent.
We're just going to start killing the stars in the middle of the floor. They lose
well,
the
it
match.
worked for Impact Wrestling for half a minute. They had a storyline on there a few weeks ago where they were having a wedding in the ring. The lights went out. You heard a gunshot, and the groom, when the lights came back on, the groom was shot. And then you had the hardcore wrestling legend Tommy Dreamer freaking out over his body instead of
Who shot Johnny?
Am I putting enough drama into this?
Not enough, but it's the silliness we can get.
It's like Calculotron from
What?
Futurama with a wrestling belt.
Oh
God.
Actually, allow me to offer what might be also another ticket into showing
Go
us
ahead.
why the trading went down.
The ratings went down. Yeah.
See, Netflix began its ascent to popularity in 2007, but 3 things happened in 2013 that solidified its mind into basically everybody's brain forever. In February 1st, 2013, Netflix began streaming House of Cards, its faced original content, wildly successful political drama. In August 2013, Netflix announced a profile feature that permits accounts to accommodate up to 5 user profiles associated with individuals or themes of their choosing. And in November of 2013, Dish Network announces that Blockbuster will close all remaining stores by the end of the year. So, while this was happening, this began roughly when cable TV was on the throes of getting killed by itself. In 2007, Netflix begins and starts. Well, actually, no. Netflix was made in 1997, but it began climbing in 2007, and then in 2013, it did the big fucking moves, and people began to lose full interest on cable television at that point.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that because WWE have a similar streaming services for all fans to watch their programming called the WWE.
WWE Network, pal. Guess how much you can get it for these days?
How much, Mr.
You
Quad?
sign in for $9.99.
For $9.99, you
$9.99.
subscribe monthly to the WWE Network, and you have access to watching all their shows.
But here's the
John
problem,
Cena,
though.
$9.99.
That's only for wrestling.
Roman Reigns,
I know.
When was
$9.99.
this network created?
2013.
Well, look at that. They tried to
Or
create
rather,
the
2014 was the official launch of the WWE Network.
Right. So that's still the problem, though. You brought out exclusive streaming services when Netflix is reaching the peak height of its popularity. You're trying to compete with Walmart when you used to be Walmart once.
Well, there's more here on this article here. It's also stated that WWE officials are hoping that next year, their annual pay-per-view in 2021, the Royal Rumble, which is in January, can serve as some kind of a big reset for the company, a reset for all the storylines, a reset for everything they had planned.
On one hand, I understand where they're coming from. But on the other hand, how do you think that this will be used to bring new fans in? Because new blood is all well and good, but if you aren't bringing new fans or attracting the old ones, no one's gonna care.
Well, it's a no secret that history has recorded that the Royal Rumble is known for bringing in not just the wrestlers to compete in one giant 30-man Royal Rumble, but also new stars to break out from NXT or from elsewhere and showcase them. And whoever wins the Royal Rumble basically punches their ticket to main event WrestleMania. So on the one hand, I can see it work as a reset.
So we're going the route of comic books. We change the writers, and we're going to start from issue 1 all over again.
Well, here's the thing: the people behind creative in WWE as of right now is Vince McMahon, the chairman,
so nothing's changing.
and the executive director for both Raw and SmackDown, Bruce Pritchard.
Huh.
And right now, Bruce Pritchard is unpopular with everyone backstage, even the talent. But the problem is that he and Vince McMahon are unopposed when it comes to making decisions for the content.
So ultimately, considering this is brings back quad explode man we're talking about
Vince
here.
McQuad.
I love
Let's
that.
be honest, that man is not good at improvising or learning from his own mistakes. Doesn't that mean that he's just going to do the exact same thing all over again?
Let me put it to you this way. This is the guy who flip-flops on people after weeks of seeing them in action. He's so obsessed with fine-tuning people's movements. Go ahead and tell him about the big man from NXT who came down months ago that they worked like crazy. They brought him in because he was building heat on his own and he was building up a reputation. They took that reputation, they turned his character around into something stupid, and now Vince McMahon's fucking upset about it. Go ahead and tell him about it.
All right, we're talking about Keith Lee, right? Yeah.
I believe he's called
The Limitless Keith Lee.
Okay, to be fair though, the Limitless is a pretty fucking cool title, but
Because he's a super heavyweight that can move like a cruiserweight, that can move like a high flyer.
oh Jesus, so he's a lightning bruiser.
He is.
He's
And
strong and fast.
he got over so well in NXT, and then when they called him up on Monday Night Raw,
What
his
happened?
first match, he beat a former WWE champion Randy Orton clean, one-on-one victory. So they started him strong. And then as weeks go by, he was floundering. Like, he was winning matches, but not clean. He was winning by disqualification. It was always screwy finishes. But this week's edition of Raw, he lost in a 2-on-1 match. That's him, by the way.
That's him, by the way, as the NXT North American champion.
Yes.
Cool.
All right.
But since then, like in this week's edition of Raw, he lost in a handicap match to John Morrison and The Miz. And Juan, how could you best describe the character of The Miz?
Okay.
With a name like The Miz, I ain't expecting much.
Okay.
Mister.
He's a part. He's
Okay,
a part of
okay. Long story short, Angel, you know the MTV reality show, The Real World?
Faintly do I remember.
The original reality show.
I very faintly do I remember that.
Okay. In 2000, was it 2000 or 2001?
2000.
2000.
I was not here in the 2000s.
Okay. In 2000, they had their they changed the city every season. They went to New York City for everyone for their crew.
This was
One of
generally
the-
seen as a bad mood, and people always don't complain
One of
about
the
it.
guys that they brought into the cast of The Real World was a young man named Mike Mizanin.
Oh, jeez.
Mike Manzani.
It was so bad you almost died.
Holy shit. Here, drink some water. Wait, I didn't bring the water.
No,
Fuck. All right, go on.
So he is a spastic, bit of a nerd, bit of a dork. He seemed like a nice guy, but he's a bit of a dork.
Kindness is a mask.
But also, he was a big pro wrestling fan.
Oh, shit.
He ran around calling himself The Miz whenever he was doing hijinks in the
Okay.
house.
It's
So-
ridiculous.
A couple years later, he actually went in to try out to become a professional wrestler for
And
the
it
WWE
worked.
only.
Well, here's the thing.
And it didn't work to begin with because everyone was shitting on him for like, oh, he's just that stupid kid from
This little
MTV.
bitch.
He's
Yeah,
just a
pretty
stupid
much.
kid from MTV. No, okay, hold on.
Yeah, look up the picture. So he tried out for 2004 in the Tough Enough edition for SmackDown. He lost to somebody else, but they sent him in developmental until they brought him back on TV in 2006, and he was starting off as this cocky, nerdy heel that eventually got over. He certainly improved in his mic skills. He knows how to talk. He knows how to really freaking
He looks like
talk.
somebody who is trying really hard to be the next Rock.
He
Wayne
is.
He does. He does so many weird. He's done so many weird things getting up in the business. Okay, he started off with a freaking faux hawk. He started off with freaking like a weird, stupid like frosted tips in his hair, and he wore suspenders that he had down. Like
Man,
this is how he started.
Guy Fieri's younger years were very, very troubled.
The Miz.
He grew up from that. He started trying to be like, oh, I'm a serious guy, so he would come out in suits to be like an evil heel. Like you get the idea. Like the heel bad guy, he's too good to come out in his gear all the time. He's like
This is
polished
a
shit.
business now.
Yeah,
And-
then he became the A-lister celebrity.
Namely because he got signed up in a lot of WWE movies. A lot, all of them, all of the WWE movies. Let me put it to you
keep
this way:
forgetting
who's the
WWE
biggest
makes
star of the franchise of the Marine?
John Cena because
Wrong! The Miz! Because they had 6 sequels to it, and The Miz was in almost each and every one of them!
Wouldn't John Cena be better because he's the guy with the
No!
good guy
You know
military
why?
angle?
You know why?
Well, he was in
Because John
Transformers
Cena's
and shit.
expensive!
Well, he
Yes.
was in
John
Transformers and
Cena is
shit.
expensive as fuck because he knows his worth. The Miz, on the other hand, has actually been building his repertoire over the years of being the guy who will not refuse an opportunity to
If
be in
there's
front of a
page
camera.
mechanic, I'll believe whatever the hell you have to say.
No, if there's a camera in front of me, I'll do whatever the hell you tell me
so
to.
it's not about the money, it's about sending a message, and the message is, look at me!
Yes!
Make no mistake. To sum it all up, the Miz has done everything and anything to do whatever
He's
it takes
been world
to get
champion
himself
once.
over.
It was horrible.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Miz.
Slip
Like,
that in the air, by the way.
by the way, he's been a world champion. Nobody liked it.
And between him and his tag partner John Morrison, they beat Keith Lee clean. However, that was originally not supposed to be the finish. You want to know what the real plan was? And this angered Juan. According to the original plan before they scrapped it, it was supposed to be a one-on-one match where Keith Lee lost clean against The Miz only.
Okay, you see this dude. Okay, not to shit on him or anything.
Yeah.
Okay,
Listen, bro.
okay. Now,
No.
for the record, this guy on any given day can take you, and me
At the same
without a
time.
problem, and I'm never gonna retract on that. The guy is fit. The guy is buff. He can kill us if he really wanted to. On the other hand, when you look at a juggernaut of a man like the Limitless, oh God, no, Jesus, look at this. I'm trying to get back.
all over the
Nothing
place.
but Miz. You see what I mean? He's everywhere. He
there
wants
he
to be
is.
everywhere. Okay,
But when you
see,
look at a
no.
guy like Keith Lee,
Look at that man.
and
Look
his
at this
look
stats.
at this.
That is not a human. That is a slab of beef with arms and legs.
pretty much.
But you don't.
This man
You
has-
can't escape
this
from
man
that.
has no muscle. He
Is
has
anyone
no
watching
organs.
over here? Cool.
His body is muscle.
Pretty much.
This ain't
Like,
gonna happen.
So, like, that pissed me off when they said, like, okay, we're going to send Keith Lee away because we don't like the way he works as a big man.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Vince McMahon got infuriated with not just Keith Lee but other super heavyweights in the WWE, basically criticizing how they work, and so they've sent him over to the WWE Performance Center to get better in their training. But the problem is, this is Keith fucking Lee, dude.
He just killed everybody at the performance center by accident.
Nope.
Now, continuing from this article, there was a new report that came out on the Wrestling Observer Radio. Dave Meltzer noted that everyone he knows in WWE were stunned at the numbers, and that people in WWE got the message as well. It was also reported this week by WrestleVotes that the record low numbers for Monday's Raw were not sitting well with WWE higher-ups, People in the company expected some reactionary decisions to be made, but no other details were provided. So in other words, the WWE are going to make quick reactive changes to the content.
What a very elaborate business-like way of saying fix this shit before we all go broke.
Now,
Like that is what's so frustrating. I've let you go on this.
Yeah, go on.
I want to drop a fucking bomb on this motherfucker. Not a
Sending you the
a
B-52.
pipe bomb, a verbal.
Listen, we found oil in the ring. The American troops are coming in to bomb your shit.
God dang it, no.
This man is at the top of the plane.
So what's up? So
Fucking
here's
Doctor Strangelove over here.
So here's what's going on. What the problem is with the WWE is one thing that nobody working there has the guts to say straight to their face.
Our boss is an idiot.
Our boss, the man who runs this company, is a freaking moron. Vince McMahon, in his senility, in his advanced age, has become mercurial. He has become infuriatingly short-tempered with people. He has become grossly out of touch.
Painfully out of touch.
yes.
You know, like he cannot feel the touch of his own quads anymore after they explode.
God
Oh
damn
my
it,
God,
Angel.
go on.
You want to know what's funny? This is the same stinking argument that was made on the WWE almost 10 years ago during the beautiful season where they had CM Punk going off and getting ready to leave with the championship because his contract was expiring. Literally in the promo that they shot for that in the middle of June, he was he was confronting Vince McMahon in the middle of the ring trying to negotiate his new contract.
Negotiations.
So you're gonna just because you're going to fire people like workhorses like Luke Gallows and a comedic entertainer like Cole Cabana because you don't know what's entertaining in 2011 because you don't know what people want anymore.
He used to
That
be...
was in 2011.
Remember when he used to be with it, but then it changed.
And
he
now what
doesn't
he's
know
with
what
isn't it? And
anymore.
what's it seems strange
No,
and
it's
scary to
strange.
him.
It happened to him, and it will keep happening to him because he's still in power and he doesn't know his
The
name.
only way that this is going to change is, yes, number one, someone needs to tell Vince McMahon that he is stupid. And number two, the creative process, the business structure behind the scenes with no one opposing Bruce Pritchard, who's basically the biggest yes man in the WWE, who will okay every decision that Vince makes. That business structure has to change.
The problem is that amongst all the people that Vince McMahon has worked with as someone who's a booker or someone who's a creative writer or something else, over the years, Bruce Pritchard, he's been in and out of the company, but he has consistently been one of the only people who can translate what Vince McMahon wants to the wrestlers.
Get the other guy. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Let me put it this way.
Herein lies the problem, though. That person is now a bona fide, top of the line, 100% pure, refined yes man. And there's nothing more dangerous than surrounding people in positions of power with yes men.
Look at
Because
you,
they
Trump.
will approve of every decision, no matter how stupid or irrational it may be.
Pretty much.
Boy, this is feeling a lot more relatable now than I thought it would. It was
Pretty much. As of right now, in terms of programming, NXT is right now their most engaging show there is because it's not oversaturated with a bunch of goofiness and horrible booking decisions. SmackDown is 50-50. I kind of feel like it's night and day. Like on one week it'll be good and the next week it won't. It kind of varies. Right now they have a good program going on with the Universal Champion Roman Reigns being the best bad guy right now, and that's good. I'm glad they pulled the trigger on that. But with Monday Night Raw, it's just a disaster, and that speaks volumes for a show that's been around since 1993.
You want to know what's really dumb? Angel, earlier this year, when did they start it? When Shane McMahon returned and he began Raw Underground?
Oh, God, that was in the summer of
Not like
2020.
Sonic Underground. It's like the same thing, but a musical.
It's
Everyone
so
has
much
green
dumber.
mohawks.
It's so much dumber.
Raw
I'll make a
Underground.
comparison. Remember Def Jam Vendetta?
Barely.
You
Now,
know how it's
imagine
an
a really
underground
dumb-
fight club?
Why though?
Now, imagine the dumbest version of an underground fight club where you're clearly not underground anywhere because it's in Florida and we can't do underground.
Bro, all we got
Number
is
one.
swamps over
Number
here. We
two,
can have a basement for shit.
Number two, there's no actual set of organization on it. It's just, oh, hey, these guys are just gonna go in and fight. We're gonna go in and we're gonna have a big fight and we're gonna have a big time.
That makes no sense. That's like the first rule.
Also,
of
you
this
have
fight
chicks
club.
dancing in cages.
That makes sense, but
No, it doesn't. Not
it
anymore.
no, it does because literally all they can think of is sex sells.
Yeah.
Once again, every time that you guys come up with this segment of news, all I keep seeing is an industry that is consistently and steadily failing to catch up with today's modernization news. I'm telling you, man, the beginning of the digital distribution streaming service age has marked the end of countless TV networks. And it feels like these guys got hit by everything. Bad decision making, refusal to learn to improve, more bad decision making, the changing times, and then, oh yeah, the fact that they treat their own talent like shit. There's always that little TD beat over there, just in case I forgot.
Oh, let me give you one little bit, and this is actually going to go ahead and bleed into our next segment here, Joe. Unless you got something to say.
Go on. No.
What I was actually going to say, do you remember the crap that Vince McMahon put his wrestlers through, saying, "Oh, you can't have any outside projects, even with your own name, unless we do it through us, and you got to give us half your fucking money or whatever the fuck."
Yep.
I sent a clip of this to Jose in the latest episodes of the critically acclaimed, fan-approved, beautiful live-action series, Star Wars: The Mandalorian.
The aqua vitae of the Star Wars franchise right now.
The wrestler Sasha Banks. AKA Snoop Dogg's cousin, AKA a multi-time women's champion and women's tag team champion.
Nice.
She got into a fist fight with Boba Fett, and she hits him with a fucking armored DDT, dropping him on his head using because she's also in Mandalorian armor.
Mandalorian DDTs are the most savage DDTs.
I know, right?
But the problem is
with her double DDTs, that is.
No, she's actually quite skinny, and she's actually
Let me dream, goddamn you.
Too bad. No, dreams are not allowed.
Oh!
The problem with that is she actually got to get the credits on that under her own real name. And so as far as I know, she's faced no consequences from the WWE.
Well,
Whereas on the other hand, other people who try to do that shit, they get fired or they get canned off.
To be fair, though, The Mandalorian has something most people don't have. It has Disney lawyers behind it. Do you want to fuck with that?
Also, to specify on the edict of WWE when it comes to working in outside projects, the WWE, they don't want them to use their superstar names. If they use their real names, then they would fly under the radar.
Wait a second. Then what about John Cena? Then he doesn't have
that. Is his name. That's why they can't. Touch him.
That's why they can't touch him.
But with Zelina Vega, aka Thea Trinidad, she did her shit under her own name, and they were like, "No, you can't do that. We own your likeness."
Bastards.
So it's hypocritical, double standard bullshit.
It's because money, the Disney money wasn't behind them. That's it.
But you know what? I think we're losing sight of this shit. As far as WWE is concerned, they're fucking hopeless. Vince isn't old out of touch yet. This isn't news, but shit's not going to change until he's either out of power or he goes off to the great wrestling ring in the sky.
I really feel
or underground, wherever the hell he goes.
I really feel bad for dedicated wrestling fans that have seen one of their favorite franchises just slump down slowly while beats. Is this what battered wife syndrome feels like?
It is, but the good thing about wrestling programming is that there are other wrestling programs to watch. As long as we have other shows to watch, such as AEW or AAA or even frickin' Impact, because Impact has their own viewers. The fans will never be disappointed.
Yeah, hey man, worst case scenario, we can always go back to the original times that shows the raw, beautiful essence of the sport. Ultimate muscle, the Kinnikuman legacy.
Thank you.
Because once again, somehow Japan manages to make it better. Seriously.
I know. But you know what? We still have to give credit to the people in the Western side of the world, especially those who are involved with Star Wars projects. Okay, you got to give us credit. We're doing good. In fact, we just wrapped up the season 2 finale of Star Wars: The Mandalorian, didn't we?
Have there been any news of season 3, or is that the conclusion as far as we know?
I think there will be a season 3.
There will be a season 3, but right now I want to let Juan take the floor because he has a lot more details on the finale.
In a galaxy
Why do you keep touching my shoulder? What is wrong with you?
Well, we want to make sure that the horrible, painful agony that envelops every part of your body every time you wake up is still there. Hit him really hard now.
Besides, it was accidental. I was just trying to do this.
Why are you chopping at my arm?
Yeah, man.
I didn't make contact.
You gotta use your closed fist, bro. You gotta go full contact on this motherfucker.
Okay. Okay. Now, for this next part of our program, we gotta fucking tell y'all, as usual, spoiler warning!
In case you plan to watch it.
This is a spoiler warning
In
for the
case.
finale of season 2 of The Mandalorian.
In case the entire internet hasn't spoiled you yet, a bunch of nerds
Spoilers!
shares might also do that.
If you don't want to hear the spoilers, then tune out now. Come back at 8:30.
Come back in about 26 minutes.
So how do you guys feel about the appearance of Goku? I gotta be honest with you. I was not ready for him to go Super Saiyan there at the end, but I never thought that Star Wars universe would put that much of a threat to a Saiyan. Oh no, you motherfuckers think I'm kidding, or do you?
Juan, go ahead.
Okay.
You think I'm kidding, do you?
So, where we last left off, our wonderful silver armored Mandalorian friend Din Djarin, the Mando himself, his little baby boy, his little baby Yoda has been taken by the
Grogu.
Imperials.
Grogu. No, I'm
Little
never calling him
Grogu.
Grogu.
Bro, that's
Even
it.
if he burns in a
You-
fire.
You gotta respect his name, bro. The Imperials
Grogu.
didn't respect his name, and look what happened to them.
Oh no! Look what happened to them.
Okay, no, first off, tiny little manacles for tiny little baby is the dumbest, most adorable. Like
The thing is that Baby Yoda's race has 3 digits.
But
So-
the fact that they had to put shackles on him that were his, does that mean they had to custom made those? Does the Empire keep shackles literally for babies?
Oh,
Guys,
God.
are we the baddies?
Nah, it's fine. Now go back to your scary uniform. I'm marching in perfect solidarity with your
Okay.
taste.
All right,
we
Juan.
got 3 planets to conquer today, man. We got time for this shit.
Continue with the
All right,
finale,
so-
please.
Little baby Yoda, little Grogu's been captured by the sinister Moff Gideon, who's for some reason wants little Grogu's fucking force blood, and he's building dark trooper robots, and he has the old Mandalorian dark saber, the black lightsaber
Yes.
that whoever holds it has the right to rule Mandalore. Actually has the right to rule it. If you remember in the Clone Wars,
Yes.
Darth Maul fought over it. He killed a leader of the Death Watch cult.
Now
and
I
he
have
ruled.
the glowy stick, so man, that is some tribal shit of
Yeah.
the strongest rule shit. If I recall, wasn't there a game, I think it was Knights of the Old Republic, when one Mandalorian is talking to another person who was mad that the Mandalorians fought against him before, and you get to see the difference in tribes, like the person is pissed because there was a war, and
Yeah.
the Mandalorians are like, you know what, we may have lost, but we did pretty damn good.
We did damn good.
Right.
It was
Yeah,
a
no.
good fight, man. It was great.
So-
no, shut the fuck up.
So Mando, he's got to put together a team. He can't do this shit alone. He's working with all sorts of crazy, undesirable motherfuckers.
The expendables.
Give me a fucking minute, because there's one character that I need to fucking pull up his thing.
By all means, go right ahead.
Okay,
folks.
that was a character's name. Okay, so motherfucking the Mandalorian, he's got to team up with every side character, one-shot episode
Oh,
sidekick
man.
that he's come across.
We are bringing
He's
the
teaming
band back together, girls.
He's teamed up with Fennec Shand, played by Ming Na.
Yes.
Nice, nice.
How does this beautiful woman not age? She looks like she's
Asian powers, bro.
motherfuck.
They
Okay,
when they turn 80, they turn into
He's-
fucking raisins, bro.
he's
So
got the backing of Bo-Katan from the Clone Wars, her group, the Death Watch.
we got the boys.
Nice.
Yeah,
Actually,
her-
no, we got the girls.
Yeah, no, she's got badass women there. He's got Cara Dune played. Shit, how am I blanking on her name?
Is it?
Gina Carano. Jesus,
Carano, yeah.
how did I
Forget
blank?
Miss Beep,
How did
Beep,
I'm not paying attention. Okay,
The problem is her pronouns are so confounding that she erases herself from your
not
memory.
not just
God.
that. He's also teamed up with motherfucking Boba Fett himself.
The big man in campus.
Tamora Morrison as Boba Fett,
Yes.
and he's dealt with one skeever kind of character by the name of Miggs Mayfield, who was played by notoriously opinionated comedian Bill Burr, who was also on Breaking Bad.
Interesting.
Now,
Okay, cool.
in the lead up episode before the finale, they had to break into the Imperial remnants. They've got to disguise themselves and shit. So Mando's got to wear Imperial garb and shit.
Yeah.
And Miggs is also in Imperial officer armor and shit. But in order to get access to their computer, it does a fucking face scan. So the Mandalorian, he has to break his creed in order to find his little baby boy, and he takes the fucking disguise helmet off, and lo and behold, it's sexy Pedro Pascal with the most desperate sort of face. I love this. And you got to give him props for this. Fucking what's her face? Grace Randolph thought that he was trying to quit. Motherfuck, woman, please check your sources and then recheck them. No,
Pretty much.
If he wants his FaceTime, then it's gonna be for shit that matters. And here he gives this beautiful expression of desperation and trying to remain
Have you ever
calm.
seen a man so uncomfortable surrounded by people since the last time I went to a party? The man was me.
It was
It was me in the
was you.
bathroom, surrounded
and
by
it
coke
face scans
lines.
him and everything. And then he gets him and Bill Burr's character, like Miggs, they get called over because this is apparently like an officer's mess hall, and they're talking to this one Imperial officer who, fun fact, he played Joe Chill in Batman Begins.
Nice.
So this is the motherfucker who shot Thomas and Martha Wayne, and he's an Imperial officer.
Whatever.
Yeah.
They were rich and white. They deserved it.
And,
But go on.
And he, like, even though he's English, he had his skeevy Southern accent on there.
He surgically removed his British glands for the role.
And they're trying to, like, okay, the guy's not going to let them leave unless they have a drink with him or whatever. And Bill Burr's character is freaking out too because, like, oh no, you can't put me near Imperials. I will fuck them up.
Listen, man. I saw Inglourious Basterds. I know what happens when the Nazi guy invites you out for a drink. Shit never
So what happens there is that
Drugs.
What happens there is that the Imperial officer he's like telling him, like, you know what the problem is? The New Republic is a piece of crap government. It's only been around for like 5 years and already people are fighting with each other and they're infighting. There's no hope for that. The problem is that the people of the galaxy, they think they want freedom, but what they really want is order. And when they realize that, they'll welcome us back with open arms.
Boy, I am getting
And
some
while-
Blizzard Company
And
vibes from here.
While he's seeing that, like Bill's character, like Miggs Mayfield, he is staring right across the table from this guy, and you could see so much pain, so much, oh god, because he's grown up under the Empire.
Yep.
He knows the horrible fucking things they've done, and you see he's keeping himself from like breaking down in
Let
tears.
me tell you, man, all those ethnic cleansings were the best tax policy we could have possibly made.
And
Hey,
even
man, you're right.
Mando-
You look like you're about to piss yourself.
And even Mando's like trying to keep his cool and looking at him is like, don't do it.
Bro, stop. Bro.
He raised,
Bro.
fucking Imperial officer
He's
raises
pulling out the envelope for the smash invitation. Bro, stop.
the motherfucking like skeevy Imperial officer, like, so gentlemen, his toast to the Empire, huh?
Oh my
His
god.
response, no, his response,
Pretty much.
shoots him dead point blank in
Like-
front of other motherfuckers.
Man.
Dude,
This Inglorious
oh,
the sequel to Inglorious Bastards got a little too out of hand real
he's
quick.
like, nah, I've seen what the Empire is, and y'all deserve to die in the ash heap of history like the dogs you are.
For the record.
Fuck you and the horse you rode in on.
Within context, imagine an SS officer dragging a bunch of Jews to the mess hall and telling them all the virtues
Oh,
of the
no.
concentration camps.
And you have one dude who's there to try to take them down, and he is a Jew, and he's over here saying, like, must not kill. No, oh my
Space
god!
Jewry.
No, I just realized!
Yep.
I just realized!
What?
Miggs Mayfield is Star Wars' Hugo Stiglitz!
It might as well be.
The fucking guy
Oh,
who
God.
fucked him up. Oh, say I'll be the same to you, Nazi balls.
Oh my god.
Oh,
and
Christ.
glorious nerf herders.
So,
All right, so
now, that
they
being
found
said,
the location of Baby Yoda.
If I
Moff
can make-
Gideon is losing his shit because he feels like he's on top of the world. He's got Baby.
he's ranting. Remember, he was ranting to baby. He doesn't. He's a child.
It's a 50-year-old child, but
That
it's a
doesn't
child.
matter. That thing has. That was genuinely was the funniest part of the episode to me because this dude is such a fucking cartoony level of evil. that
my
he needs
God.
to stand up and start doing a speech
We
to
can't
a
s-
goddamn baby.
That is brilliant.
Like the
This man
glory of the
can-
Empire.
This man has a pathological need to gloat. It's like, find me a prisoner. I need to tell them my evil plans right now.
So
It's the
Mando
because
and the team get in
Baby
here.
Yoda's face to the entire thing is like, what the fuck is going on?
All right, hang on. Juancho, go on.
Bruh, what?
What?
So Mandalorian and the team.
Mando and the team are in. They are busting ass. They break into
Yeah.
Moff Gideon's Star Destroyer.
Ass status, busted.
Moff Gideon goes up and faces the Mandalorian himself. They have a 1v1 battle.
Yes.
Gideon's got the Darksaber. Like fucking.
Can I once again say how happy I am that there's things out there that can actually fight off a lightsaber?
And you've
that
got-
is not another lightsaber.
And well, actually, yeah, and you can thank you can thank the expanded universe and you can thank Star Wars Episode 3 for that,
that thing
because
that
the
they keep
General
trying to
Grievous's
erase.
people, they've like his droids, they have the electric staffs.
Yeah. We saw
They're
them in the
made of
cartoon, the first stuff.
they're made of specific metal, and they have an electric current that goes through them that catches lightsabers also.
Man,
So yeah,
Grievous was
you can
way
thank the prequels for that, motherfuckers.
Jedi.
So the
Said Jon
Mandalorian takes
Favreau.
him down. Mandalorian defeats him, and he takes the Darksaber back away from him. He's like, I'm handing this back to Bo-Katan. She's going to go ahead and help rebuild Mandalore. And Gideon's like, you can't just give it to her. Wait, what? What the fuck are you talking about?
Right
no,
on
you
battle,
can't.
motherfucker.
It's got to be one in battle. You can't just give it to her, motherfucker. You're going to have to fight her sooner or later.
Nice job, retard. You beat me.
Uh,
Now go kill your
God.
friend.
Fun fact, little does this fucking guy realize, in Star Wars Rebels, that's exactly how she got a hold of it the first
Yep.
time around. Sabine Wren fought off like the other Mandalorians who were trying to like splinter off. She takes the Darksaber, she earns it, she earns the right to rule Mandalore, and she immediately pulls a Worf in DS9. He's like,
I'm
okay,
sorry,
I'm not the one to rule it. Bo-Katan, she's the one who can unify Mandalore.
Every
and
time you
Bo-Katan
say
doesn't.
Darksaber, all I think about is Transformers. Sorry.
No, it's cool, dude. But go on.
So they're trying to set up a thing like, oh no, Mando has another problem he's gonna have to deal with down the line.
Honor.
They called for backup.
Away.
They called for backup in order to try to take down the rest of the Imperial officers, because this motherfucker has got his ship loaded with dark trooper droids. These big bulky motherfucking giant robots of death.
Oh yeah, wait, is it
So,
the
like,
ones
okay-
that have like no neck?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, those were kind of cool, honestly, because they always seem so nice and compact to me. They would
And-
like unfold like a luggage case and just start shooting from the wrists. It was kind of cool.
oh no, those are the Super Star Destroyers.
Damn
No, no,
it.
no.
Yeah.
I'll show you here.
But anyways, as you're showing us, go ahead and continue your narration because this is good. This is some
All
good
right.
shit.
So, give me a second. God damn it. Well, yeah, no, this fucking thing has got no neck in it whatsoever. But you know what?
Oh man, that looks cool.
That
I
looks
like the
really
more
cool.
industrialized look it has. It looks like a
Bing bonk boom.
It's just big machine, big gun machine time.
But you know what? Someone actually answers their fucking call to help bring down the Star Destroyer and help bring down the rest of these guys. Like, oh my god, it's the New Republic. There's a whole fleet coming in? No, it's just one
It's
single
like
X-Wing.
one dude.
No, it's just one X-Wing. Oh, great, one X-Wing. We're saved.
Oh yeah.
It's okay. It says main character on the side.
All right,
It has a
Juan.
what?
Who's into one X-wing?
Okay, we don't see the ship dock.
Don't look
but
too
we see
carefully,
every
but Juan's dick is about to explode out of his pants right
we
now.
see every single Dark Trooper droid line up, about to try to take the command deck where Mando and the crew are, but they turn back and face the elevator because it's binging. It's blinking at them.
There's a dangerous
And
power
just
level.
as it goes off, you can hear the boss music kick in.
Yeah.
The moment the elevator door opens up, very quick fashion, a dark cloaked figure, clearly human, clearly male, one gloved right hand wielding a green lightsaber.
I am the storm that is approaching.
Oh my God! It might as well be.
The Jedi Knight himself, the Skywalker himself, motherfucking Luke Skywalker, carves down the fucking Dark Trooper droids left and right. He bonks them all
There
down
was
like
a
a
style
motherfucker.
meter on the corner of the screen. And
It's just getting triple S, smoking six stylish. He's cutting them down, deflecting fucking bullets. He's using the Force to shut them down. The last Dark Trooper droid that tries to attack him, he freezes it in place. He sees it crush, and with his robot right hand, it just implodes in itself.
As you can imagine, people have made a million comparisons between this and the iconic Darth Vader scene at the end of Rogue One, which most likely was, in fact, a very deliberate imitation. You know, like father, like son, and all that jazz. Of course, the difference being here that Luke is fighting for a good reason instead of Darth Vader going on to fill up his TPS report.
Now, what's funny is this. Once they heard that there was only one guy coming down the fucking hallway, Moff Gideon actually tried to seppuku at that point. Like,
oh, hell
no.
nah.
Mando went, nope.
No, bro.
Ah.
So,
No, please, don't make me fight the main character. Have you seen the size of his health bar?
wait, that's a health bar? I thought that was just an infinite ray of light
Wait, I missed
from the Force and hope coming from him.
How is he so powerful? And Luke just goes, Royal Guard!
So then what
So-
happens?
So, Luke cuts through the guards. He opens the door to the command deck with ease.
The CG for his face looked a little dodgy, but I think they
But
did a fairly good job with it.
Here's the silly thing. People were going nuts like, oh no, just cast Sebastian Stan to be Luke Skywalker. People were going to complain if they did that.
Nah, it's fine. I'm just saying, honestly, I have two complaints. There's 2 complaints about the show in general. First, I feel like Mando got the full armor suit way too fucking quickly.
You sure about that?
Yeah, because the moment he gets the whole thing in like 4 episodes in season 1, and after that, it makes many minor threats completely useless to him. And second, I wish they had made an effort to make the stormtroopers at least slightly more threatening than not at all. Like I said, these are just nitpicks. Overall, I still love the show fantastically. But I felt like I wish they had built the threat a little more, because if you look at the point where Boba Fett shows up, there's a lot of let's run at this guy and not shoot happening there.
Pretty much.
But that's just nitpicking right now. Overall, it worked for me.
Yeah. Go on.
Now, so people were going to complain one way or another if you got a completely different actor to play Luke Skywalker, or if they were going to do the CG face replacement.
It's fine. Just
you know what? It doesn't fucking matter. We got Luke Skywalker. It's fine. I'll give that a solid C+. Actually, no, that one's a B-.
Yeah, it's a B-. I'm gonna go B-.
So
B-
it's
for
not
not
the
enough budget for good face, plus for everything else.
Right.
Like we'll take the fact that this is younger Luke Skywalker slashing, cutting, and jiving.
You know what?
This is the funny thing is people were complaining. Oh, this is the Luke Skywalker we want. This is the one we deserve. We didn't need it in the sequel. You got to remember, Mark Hamill is near 60.
He's old as hell, man.
You can't have him like. You wanted, like, if we wanted to see him,
wrinkles and years on his face.
oh no, but that just means that he should be even more OP. He should be flipping
no.
around.
Relax.
Okay, no. You want to know what you motherfuckers want? Y'all motherfuckers want the same CG Yoda and same CG Count Dooku fights that you saw in episodes 1 and episodes 2 and 3.
It doesn't work in this circumstance.
When those came out in the early 2000s, y'all were the same motherfuckers who were shitting on that for looking too cartoony and too weird. Oh, Yoda's not supposed to need a lightsaber. He's just supposed to be a widdly woody force wielder.
Guys, is it fake to
And
see
when
spectacular
Luke,
martial arts
and
in
when
martial arts
Luke,
fights?
and when Luke Skywalker actually went the sages Jedi Master widdly woody shit and combined that with being a sword fighter with Kylo Ren in The Last Jedi, people shat on that anyway. You motherfuckers don't know what you want.
Oh, I'll tell you what you want. I got exactly what I wanted here.
What did you get?
No, I got exactly what I wanted here.
And what
I
is
don't
that?
care about the movies because, well, okay, he did the cool thing in the movies, but everything surrounding the cool thing was not cool to me. But this, right here, Luke Skywalker, prime of his life, kicking ass, taking names, doing the good thing and fighting. That is exactly what I wanted.
That is cool.
That is exactly what I got. The beautiful thing is, it's bitching coming from both sides, mainly because the people who defend the movies with passion are complaining about this version of Luke Skywalker, even though this is one of the most popular portrayals of the man we had since the original movies.
Guys, it's no secret. It's a historical fact that the Star Wars fan base is riddled with mixed and oftentimes toxic bullshit
Man,
fans.
I fucking hate Star Wars. Aren't you one of his biggest fans? That's why I fucking hate Star Wars.
So
ridiculous, man.
No,
Dude,
no,
they're the
but
same
you know
Star
what?
Wars fan base that tried to cancel Kelly Marie Tran.
Forget about it, fam. It's Star Wars town. Let's
Go
get
on.
back to the
Okay,
good
let's
stuff.
get
Back
the
to
good
the
stuff.
Mandalorian. Go on.
Like Mando's freaking out because like, oh shit, this one guy just posted open.
Oh, fuck.
Are you a Jedi?
No.
I'm
a clown.
No, I am. This child needs to come with you. He needs training. Like, I don't know if I can give him what he needs, but I'll take him with me if that's what's necessary to protect the kid. And this is the most beautiful fucking things. He's got like Mando's got little baby Grogu in his arms, and for the only time that the two have been together, Mando takes his helmet off one more
That's
time.
right. Canonically, Grogu has never seen his face until this point, has he?
Nope.
And
Ever.
that same beautiful, like Pedro Pascal, you beautiful motherfucker. You're a credit. Mwah. This, like, at first, the last time we saw his face, it was desperation and fear and
nerves.
nervousness. Here,
Pure autism just spilling out of his pockets.
pure spaghetti strands of
Space Getty. Just
Right.
space spaghetti. But here, it's a beautiful moment of heartbreak and love for this little baby child. And the little baby Grogu, like, actually his eyes almost fucking light up, and he touches Mando on the face with his little claw. Like,
Oh.
Don't forget, this child will live his teenage years in the time Mando will die of old age.
But think about how many fans who love Baby Yoda. Like how many of them like freaking.
No. This is proper build-up. This is proper build-up and proper payoff. I believe this is known
Juan,
as
we'll take your word for it. You don't have to.
no, you know, I need to do this because this was a beautiful moment. And speaking as a father, the most painful thing you could do is like do something that you know is good for your child, but you'll be so fucking sad to see them.
I thought it was eating them. You know, like the Greek gods used to do all the fucking time.
What the fuck? What the fuck have you been watching?
I've been reading a lot of mythology lately. Why don't I get so
And
fucking
in this
crazy?
moment, this one little beautiful moment after all the shit that they went through together, Din Djarin, the Mandalorian, has to say goodbye to his adopted child, little baby Yoda Grogu. He sets him down. And just as he sets him down, the main character of the saga of all Star Wars wheels on up on his 3 wheels. R2 fucking D2 shows up.
Yeah, by the way,
Beats at him, Baby Yoda coos at him, and fucking Luke Skywalker picks him up, and he goes ahead and walks him away. And you see a single spear rolls down on Mando's face. Like, as Luke Skywalker's walking away, little Baby Yoda is looking back at his daddy. And waving goodbye. R2-D2, the main character of Star Wars, is coming up. And Luke Skywalker carries him away. The elevator door closes. And that's the end of the story for this season.
Damn.
Like,
Hang on. Okay.
he's turning into
I'm not crying! You're crying!
Kevin Smith was crying pretty hard too, you know what I'm saying?
Juan's crying. What do we do?
Listen, I don't do emotional. Rap song right there. So let's cut it out before
Alright, let's cut it out.
So Mando does what every good father does, and he leaves to get
Let's
milk
just
for
help.
20 years.
But you know what's fucking wild, man?
But it doesn't stop there. It
Your
doesn't.
reaction?
No, you know
That
what's
shit was
actually
pretty
wild?
fucking wild, bro.
You know what's actually wild?
What's
the
wild?
backstory of Din Djarin of the Mandalorian is that he was adopted by the
Some
fucking
insane ass cult.
some insane ass Mando cult, and he is indoctrinated in them to follow the way of the Mandalorian.
I love how the actual Mandalorians look at me and go, okay, this man is going insane.
Like,
You
this
know what?
guy is too weird even for us.
It's the equivalent of that guy who came from a really, really strict Christian family and cannot stop quoting the Bible every 5 fucking seconds.
Pretty much.
But for all that like extremity that he goes through, you cannot say that he didn't do what he knew he could for this child. He's like, I was tasked to bring him to his people. I was tasked to get him to safety. He will not be safe with me. And he moved heaven and earth. He brought back Boba Fett.
Yep.
He faced down Imperials
He fixed Star Wars just to protect this child.
to protect this little baby.
Yes. And for that, he will always have the admiration and the respect and the love of all Star Wars fans who enjoy watching The Mandalorian.
Sometimes there's few things in fiction. Okay, it's a story that has been done before, but seeing a father move heaven and earth to protect their kid, biological or not, is something that hits you right here because it's like a hard thing. Remember that time Asura killed God because his daughter cried?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Mando did something that is almost as good. He managed to do what many thought impossible and actually rekindle the love for Star Wars in many people who had just given up on the franchise at this point.
Meanwhile, on the day it came out yesterday, Mark Hamill fucking tweeted this at 2:34 p.m. Eastern. See anything good on TV lately?
You wrinkly fuck. We know what you were doing.
Like he didn't know.
you
Right.
little shit.
Now, Juan, of course, this doesn't end there, and I hate to cut the cord on the emotional element of here, but
But wait, there's more.
what happened to Boba Fett?
Good question.
So,
Well,
after the
the
credits,
real one is sadly no longer with us.
yes. So
Yeah, that's something we do
we
need
gotta
to
give
address.
shout out and many thanks to the original Boba Fett actor Jeremy Bulloch. The man actually passed away right as the. That's kind of scary.
Damn, like his roles concluded. Damn.
Exactly.
So nonetheless, we would like to send our sincerest condolences to his loved ones and a heartfelt thanks to the man for everything he did. Because let's be honest, that dude was a master of first impressions. His actual canonical appearance in the original movies, he doesn't do that much. But he was so cool that his myth alone propelled him into an actually cool... He memed himself into being cool.
Exactly.
That's right.
He brought Boba Fett to life with his performance in The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi.
It feels dumb, but all he it's people are like, oh, he's just some dude in a costume. Anyone can
he's
do that.
really cool though.
But he did a good job at being a dude in a costume, but he
Exactly.
did well. And he came in like, okay, he's an imposing guy. He's mysterious. He's got a fucking thing. And when we got the backstory, motherfucking Tamora Morrison, motherfucking Daniel Logan, who was young Boba Fett, to this fucking day, Daniel Logan, he throws himself head first on anything Boba Fett related, even though he's a grown young man. But motherfuck, that boy has kept himself in shape.
Amen.
Like, yo, just say the word if you want a young Boba Fett series. I'll fucking do it. I don't
Get
care.
that dog, bro.
Tamara Morrison keeps himself in shape, and they're like, "Hey, want to be old Boba? Just tell me when, motherfucker."
Sequel 3, Boba T.
But-
Speaking of which,
Yes. Go ahead. Tell them what
in
happened.
the post-credit scene after the end of the Mandalorian season 2, we cue to a very familiar binary sunset at a very notorious gangster's palace on the sand and desert planet of Tatooine.
Ah, yes.
And we see not Jabba the Hutt.
Nah, he's kind of dead.
Yeah, because he's got a terminal case of death.
But
His
it's
living
but-
rights were
But
revoked.
his fucking assistant, Beeb Fortuna, the white Twi'lek alien with the white alien skin and
the
the
living
tentacles.
Chungus with the fat tentacles.
Yeah, he looks like an alien Dracula
Actually-
that's covered in black. That's the
actually,
best way I
no.
can describe it for you.
Funny you should
Yes.
mention that, because apparently in the 5 to 6 years in between there, he got fat as fuck.
Well, yeah.
He got big. He was living large and living in charge. He was getting as fat as his old master Boba. I mean, nope, I meant Jabba. I meant, oh wait, no, Boba. What's he doing there?
he took
Freudian
my-
slip. Sorry, guys. But you know what? He's like living it up. He's like smoking weed and banging alien bitches.
Yep, smoking weed,
He sees
eating
a
a lot,
silhouette.
banging bitches.
He sees a silhouette in the doorway. Boba? I thought you were
Dead. In the words of
Everyone runs the fuck away.
in the,
Boba walks up, grabs his fucking dead
Carcass.
body, throws it off the throne, sits down like a boss. Fennec Shand Ming Na, she comes up behind him. She grabs a fucking drink off the bar behind them. It's like, no. Okay, it's cool. Plug, plug.
Ming-Na Wen continues to be one of the most best things in Disney and in
In
Star
the
Wars and
world-
everything.
in the words of Blade, you didn't think I forget about you, did
Did
you?
you motherfucker?
Stop.
To which they revealed the book of Boba Fett coming December 2021.
So now we
it
have a
looks
release
like
date.
We are actually getting a spin-off because once, like I said, dude, I'm telling you, the moment they started making money for Star Wars commercial again, Disney got its greedy little hooks on this shit and decided to throw all the shit at the wall and see what's gonna stick. Now, of course, I have I have no faith at all. I'm not gonna lie. If they
Yeah,
can
no
get,
faith. Don't fucking lie.
No,
Yeah.
I don't. If they can get some good writers, if they can get something on the style of Jon Favreau and they can follow his proper philosophy, then yeah, I like to think most of these are gonna be good.
Well,
So,
We'll see what happens.
indeed. Well, here's the thing: when it comes to these projects, you have to update your fans. Not often, but give them a few updates every now and then,
Throw
every
some
couple
morsels,
months.
man.
Yeah, exactly. Give
Tease
us something to be excited about. There are so many projects, even not cinematic or show related, that has done that has kept their fans enticed and hooked, such as the video game project of Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh boy.
Before its release, which has been postponed twice. They
So
wanted
what the
to
hook
make
gonna
sure
be?
they got it, the
There'll be no
formula
fucking hook
right.
on this beat.
And they have done a good job in keeping us informed. Yes, we got angry because it was held off, but at the same time, they wanted to make sure they got the video game right. And since its release, I believe it was last week in this month, December.
Indeed. And now we are jumping to my little segment, which is going to be mostly Cyberpunk. What time is it actually?
Yeah,
8:35. You've got time.
8:35. You got
Okay,
time, my friend. So
this is gonna get sad, people. So bear with me for a moment.
yeah,
Happy
absolutely.
fun times are over, guys.
The game Cyberpunk 2077 has been released. Angel, What is the overall fallout?
So here we go. This game was announced 8 goddamn years ago. Can I have some of those nuts? I'm gonna need some nutrition to deal with this shit.
It's sea salts. Can you handle it?
No, it's sea salted chickpeas. It's not nuts.
I failed to see the problem here. Nuts look like nuts to me. Give me some of them peas, boy. So,
Oh, boy.
nice and crunchy.
You see?
Give him a second. He's gearing up.
You see, I did this because I wanted to be salty as fuck. So if this motherfucker needs it, you know it's good.
All right, here we go. Angel, fill us in.
8 years ago, the game is announced with a very eerie-looking trailer that harkens back a little bit to the events of Blade Runner. You know, cyborg woman on the street, police, kind of shit. Then we hear nothing for 4 years, and then Keanu Reeves waltzes onto the stage with all the swagger of an average Canadian man to show us how it's done. Very nice. People get hype. And the hype mounts. And it mounts. And it mounts. And the hype feels really good because CD Projekt Red already has a pretty good reputation because they are also the ones in charge of the Witcher series.
Yeah.
Well, not known for its good combat per se. It's not bad. It's just kind of Has amazing story, good music, greatly written characters, all the good shit. Then the game comes out. And shit ain't looking too good right now if you own a PS4 or an Xbox One.
What seems to be the issue
We
when it comes
got
to those
graphical
consoles?
glitches, pop-ups, long loading times, game crashes, fucking model destruction. The game itself is a great game buried under a pile of technical issues if you own a PS4 or an Xbox One. For what I understand, if you own a PS5, Xbox One X, or a high-end PC, very few problems. Some graphical issues, some texture pop-ups, some issues with loading, but nothing that would be considered game-breaking. But anything below that, you are kind of fucked.
Kind of.
Now, some people complain, come on, man, the PS4 is like an 8-year-old console. Well, that's great, but they announced this shit for the PS4. So that means it falls on them to the fact they didn't properly optimize this for the previous consoles. And as of recently, some shit has come down. So
What
it appears
shit?
that, no, a bunch of sweaty neck beers behind their keyboards do not actually affect this company, and a bunch of useless death threats have about as much power as a fart in the wind. It smells bad for a while, but ultimately no one is going to do a damn thing about it. The reason why this game has so many problems, as lighted by some business interviews that came out recently, is because CD Red Projekt did want to delay the game a little further if possible, but they got forced into releasing it by, guess who?
Who?
Sony.
Yes, but guess who?
Who?
Executives and stockbrokers.
So, the money people.
Exactly. Essentially, the purse strings were coming a little too loose, so they made the game be released immediately as soon as they could, and as a result of that matter, the game came out in a good state for everything except for the most played consoles right now, which has resulted in a bizarre combination of opinions ranging from a 70% of, man, this game does not fucking want to work with me, to, yeah, I'm having some problems here and there, but overall the game is fine. As a result, the PC version of the game has like a 9-point-something score, while the PS4 version has a 2.0 score.
Ow.
Jesus!
And you could testify this from firsthand experience, since I know you told me this, I don't want to bring him up, but since your bro has a copy of Cyberpunk 2077.
Ironically enough, his copy has given him minimum problems.
Wait, his copy,
He's one of the few people that
on
has
a PS4.
absolutely no issues with his PS4 copy. Some like loading problems when he dies apparently, but nothing bad has happened. It hasn't crashed or exploded on him or fucked up the result. But once you see the difference between the PC version and the PS4 version, it is very clear that PS4 cannot compete with this thing. This game was not made for PS4, and it was certainly not optimized for PS4 either. And anybody who owns one or an Xbox One is suffering the consequences. So, people got mad. Righteously fucking mad, because let's be honest, it doesn't matter how much they bitched about it. If this was gonna happen, they should have delayed it at least a couple of months more. Hell, man, look at the fucking library we got right now. I could have waited. I wouldn't have minded. That's fine with me. So, as expected, the internet works on extrapolation because the internet is full of dumbasses.
Afraid so. I mean,
As a
look at
result,
us.
things have to be either the best thing in the world
Or the worst thing
the
ever.
worst goddamn thing that ever lived, came into my house, killed my wife, and raped my dog. That's how bad it has
Wow, dude.
been. We got people.
Okay.
No, seriously, we got dumbasses out there.
People's dogs getting wrecked.
Exactly. There's people out there comparing this game to the likes of Fallout 76 and Mass Effect Andromeda in levels of bad.
Whoa, that is.
They could call it Sonic 06.
Okay, that's a big leap.
It is an enormous leap because guess what? There's games that have gotten videos by the Internet Historian, and Cyberpunk 2077 is on one of them.
But when you compare the gaming of both Cyberpunk 2077 to Fallout 76, would you consider that a fair comparison?
Not at all. It is like, let me put it this way. This is the equivalent of, shit, I stubbed my toe, to, oh wow, my entire leg exploded. Let me put it this way. Cyberpunk 2077 has genuine technical issues on PS4 and Xbox One, and even on PS5 and PC. I will not deny this. Some of these are stupid technical issues that honestly should have been fixed, and it is genuinely giving this team a bad reputation. And I won't lie, if they delayed it this much and they still had this many problems, that is earned. They gotta fix that. But Fallout 76 could brick your console.
Shit. Yeah.
Fallout 76 was so bad that even though it was a multiplayer game, people found a way to activate the item duplication glitch and go inside the dev room. Fallout 76 was so bad that even the goodies that you received with it were bad. The bottle of Nuka-Cola was basically cheap rum in a shitty plastic case.
So it was so bad, just so bad.
It was so bad that the limited edition collector's helmet that you get with it would eventually develop mold that would get into your lungs.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, that's
all right. Well,
pretty
getting
nasty,
back on
man.
Cyberpunk 2077, has the developers released any statements recently?
Oh, they have more. Don't more that. Don't
Go ahead and pull it up, man.
No need.
Well,
I know
while you
exactly
do-
what happened. There was no statement here. They did it pretty much what no other company would have done. They are offering, if you bought the game on PSN, or actually I think if you bought the game on general digital store, you get a full refund for it. 100% your money back until we fix this shit, and they're rolling out the patches as we speak, implying that by January the game will be completely finalized.
Now,
Well, that's good.
One little thing that I did want to bring up, and this was a pretty valid but also kind of fucked up argument. Steve Wolf on Twitter, who is a gamer, who is also an artist, who is a YouTube streamer, guy I look up to, put this up yesterday. The Cyberpunk runs like shit on my console. I want a refund. Their console. An image of a dusty and filthy PS4 controller.
No, I remember that.
This filthy looking. Okay, I'm not gonna fucking do this.
Yeah.
This filthy looking PS4 console in
Oh my
its
God.
look fan.
It's more dust
and look
than
at
plastic.
that. Look at this.
How do you let it get to that point to begin with?
I shared the tweet
Like
and I tweeted
filthy,
myself saying,
dust-corrupt-
imagine complaining about the game you paid for and intentionally sabotaging your console.
No,
Exactly.
No. Like imagine like saying a game that you paid for runs like shit when you don't take care of your console.
Yeah.
That's one valid argument that can be made.
Yeah, no.
So fucking take care
The
of your
problem
consoles,
is-
people.
The problem is, of course, the many people that have taken care of their consoles and are still getting legitimate problems with this. Like,
Yes,
there's
that's
no
true.
denying it. Guys, this game was undercooked. Just a few more months in the oven would have worked just fine, and apparently they're working on that. So now you get the game full refund, your money back, and then you can buy it again once it's nice and patched. But here's the thing, though. Apparently Sony didn't like that. Because refunds means that they lose money. So in what I can only describe as the greatest symbol of, like, moment of greed, if you return after you can return the game, you can get your refund, but the game has been completely removed from the PSN store.
Wow.
So you can return it all you want, but have fun trying to get it back on your fucking
Yeah,
console.
you're gonna have to wait.
on your PS4 console, mind you.
No, it's just PSN in general. PlayStation.
Wait, the entire thing?
Yes, as of
Even
now,
on a PS5.
As of now, Cyberpunk 2077 not only got delayed for a third time, it's technically an Xbox exclusive now.
Oh, my God.
You fucking idiots, Sony!
Now, ultimately, it doesn't mean that they have lost it completely. Once the game is fixed, they'll just put it right back. But ultimately, this
Time
is
will
basically,
tell, but yeah.
once again, what we have seen nothing more than pure stupid greed on
Pettiness.
the side of the suits.
No, this is fucking pettiness is
It
what
is
it
pettiness. They didn't need to do that.
Also, that is kind of sad. Xbox has so little exclusives. This is the only way they managed to get it.
Oh.
After they also, I don't know what makes me sad. The fact that this is what happened to this is a well-beloved studio. This has genuinely hit the reputation because the stockbrokers fucked them over, and
Yep.
the executives fucked them over,
Yep.
and the expectations that they built for 8 years, that was on them, fucked them over. This is a lesson on why you don't announce your games that fucking early.
Oh, hang on a minute. I believe we have our
Oh,
first
hey,
comment.
Nora, final fucking
Nora,
thing. Hey,
hi,
Nora.
what's going on?
Hi, nerds playing Kakarot like I'm in 5th grade.
There
Yay.
you go.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
See,
We're-
this is proof.
Yeah.
For example, let me put it this way: if Cyberpunk had begun, like if Cyberpunk's first announcement had been the one with Keanu Reeves and not the one 8 years ago that everybody hyped up for nothing,
right.
this would have been fine. Because everybody would have grumbled and mumbled, but you know what? Fine. Delay it one more time. We can wait. But this is the result of literally every single executive and stockbroker going, bro, we need that Christmas bonus. We need the Christmas bonus.
Sir, I'm not sure if you understand this. We've got bugs. We want this to be able to run on the current gen and the new next gen
Here's
console.
a can of Raid. Clean the bugs.
Yeah.
Sir, this is an actual can
Clean
of
the
Raid.
box. Here's another
Do you
can of
not
Raid.
know what
Okay, here's a
terminology
third
is?
can of Raid, but that's
No,
much second.
sir, that's not what we mean. We're not actually talking about insects. I'm
I don't
talking
know
about
how machines
technical.
work. Here's money. Fix machines.
So basically, because of the impatience
Thank you,
of the executives, they had to go ahead and
Oh.
release the game on the date that they released it.
Oh, Nora's
Exactly.
asking what's going on with Cyberpunk. It got removed from the PlayStation Network completely.
Yep, they're
In
offering
a dickish move by Sony. Fucking Cyberpunk 2077 got removed from the PlayStation Network.
Yeah. Until further notice.
Until further.
Until further
God.
notice.
In,
They
the,
didn't
in the
need
meantime, if you want to satisfy your RPG thirst, may I recommend Yakuza 7 Like a Dragon. It has switched from brawler to turn-based, but the story is still hilariously goofy. And fun.
So
No, seriously, it's literally gangsters fighting on the streets, turn-based RPG, because the main character is a fucking loon that actually tells you, man, listen, when I get into fights, I think of stuff in ways like Dragon Quest.
let me ask you a question, Angel, since you're the expert here. Do you think that the developers of Cyberpunk 2077 were backed into a corner? Like, on one hand, if they put it off any longer to try and get it right, they risk losing the oomph, the interest of the video game viewers. But on the other hand, by rushing it, not by their choice, but by releasing it on that date incompleted, they're already facing the situation they are right now.
The second point applies. Remember the words of Mr. Miyamoto. A delayed game can eventually be good, but a rushed game will forever be bad. Even after this game comes out nice and fixed, the effects of the bad first impression are going to linger for a very long time.
Nora screaming in Saiyan rage. No!
Yeah, kind of like that.
Actually, you know what? The one example that we've somehow stumbled on, we brought it up last week at the Game Awards, was No Man's Sky.
There we
of
go.
all fucking things. I remember the meme videos that you sent me.
Dude, it was that bad.
No Man's Sky, in its initial release, it came out and it was glitchy. It crashed your PS4. It had
It was
weird shit going on.
lackluster and had nothing to do with.
What was the name of the fucking type of system that it uses?
I forgot. It's been a while.
Jesus
No clue, but go on.
Oh, I gotta fucking look it up.
Yeah,
because
go ahead, look it up.
The point that I'm trying to make is that No Man's Sky for the longest time had been the butt of everybody's joke of like, oh, this is
Well
what
deserved.
happens when
Empty
this
promises.
Oh my god.
when a game came out and it's like so dumb, it's so glitchy and pathetic or whatever. Hang on, I'm gonna fucking look this up right now. Give me a
Now,
Yeah,
to
by
minute.
all
man's
means.
credit, he managed to make the game playable.
Procedurally generated,
Yeah,
deterministic
that mess.
openness.
Oh my god.
Now, to the man's credit, he managed to fix it, but that was 3 years worth of work, and people are not willing to wait that much anymore. Okay, the fact that he even managed to get some good reception of it is nothing short of a miracle. Now, to their credit, CD Projekt Red is genuinely working on fixing it, and that means that at the latest by January, I think we should have the game in its perfected state that it was supposed to be. But
The way the directors intended.
the problem is
Release the Snyder cut of
Release-
Cyberpunk.
the problem
my
is
God.
It needs to be black and white, and it needs to be in 6-hour chapters.
angst and blood everywhere,
And all the women have to have no agency.
Exactly. Now,
Fuck you, Zach.
the biggest problem here is when it comes to big media that builds hype, it doesn't matter how much you fix it, the first impression is going to stick. You can make it the best goddamn game in the world, but everybody's still going to remember that time that you pulled it out, started playing, and one character's neck stretched 3 miles into the sky before their body glitched through the earth and exploded. Okay?
No, God.
And that's the saddest thing because it is a genuinely good game. On
It
the-
really
all the
is.
technical issues,
It's
there
fun
is-
and stupid fun, too.
It's a fantastic story, good gameplay, good RPG, great voice acting, beautiful music. Dude, I've been listening to some of the music. That shit is some low-key, lo-fi, sci-fi beats to story to shit. It's
What's the
great.
name of the one song that's somehow become a craze, like
I forgot.
pop sensation? You told me the other
Yeah,
night.
it was pop shit or something. That's what it's actually called. But the point is... Oh, sorry, Nora, you were saying something?
Nora's saying, I meant to say hi earlier like a happy kid on Christmas morning.
Oh.
Well, you're getting cold just for that one.
Ah.
Wow.
I'm breaking
No,
into your
you're
house
okay.
and
We love you.
dumping coal in your socks. Anyway.
Oh man, but go
So,
on.
point in case is, like I said, there's a good game, but it's buried under a myriad of technical issues, graphical glitches, and loading screens that really should not be there right now, and that is hurting because this came out at the same time as Yakuza 7 Like a Dragon, which is a big open world RPG turn-based. So this is really not making the Western studios look good again, and it's only cementing the idea on people's minds that you just cannot trust anything the AAA gaming industry tells you, because they have clearly stuck themselves to the idea of, if it doesn't work, we can just patch it later.
You have
That is
failed
rare.
this industry of video games.
That shit don't work, because if you cannot stick to the philosophy of, it's fucked up now, we'll patch it later.
But on the positive side, at least the developers of Cyberpunk 2077 are offering a refund to those who want to return
Yeah,
their
no,
copy.
they know they fucked up
The
here, so
problem-
at least they're giving the money back.
With that mentality is the same problem that I absolutely hate when it comes to filmmaking. What's the 4 most dreaded words in filmmaking?
Fix it in post.
Fix it in post.
No.
Worst.
It is.
Also, just like in the film industry, this is an aspect of video game development many people don't realize. Sometimes you're gonna work a whole month on a section of the game and you're gonna have to just throw it away because of some stupid
Yep.
reason. Like, imagine this, for example. Let's say you're making a turn-based RPG, and you know, like any turn-based RPG, you have different zones you go to. You know, lava zone, ice zone, forest, desert, etc., etc., etc. And they all have their enemies and their bosses and whatever part on the story they may have. Imagine you're doing this, and all of a sudden it goes, "Okay, motherfuckers, we took too much time. Cut out this section. Like the desert area, it's gotta go.
Yeah.
But something important is supposed to happen. No, it's gotta go. But what about the enemies and the boss and the new mechanic we're going to throw? It's gotta go.
Gotta go.
So now you gotta get all the programmers to take whatever mechanics they were going to introduce there and distribute them to the rest of the game. You gotta get the writers to rewrite that segment of the story, even if the writing story in the game is not that important.
The writers, the
Don't matter.
programmers, the debuggers right
now
there.
Now we gotta paste all this shit together and play test it to make sure that when I transition from the ice zone to the fire zone, the game doesn't explode because there was supposed to be a zone in there.
You walk in the middle and you see the guy like break off into every single vertex of the model of the character.
Also, we got a bunch of unused models of enemies. We're gonna use those now. We're gonna just recolor that shit, set it on fire, and put it in the volcano section. Also, that means that sometimes the game balance is gonna basically in video game development. Sometimes pieces of video game cease to exist.
Yep.
Here's a better example. When Bungie was still working on Halo, there was a part
Hey guys, do you remember when Bungie worked on Halo?
remember when people cared? There was a point where they were commenting, "Oh yeah, we would spend like a whole week designing this map, but then we realized it looks like a pretty map, but the players cannot properly move between the lines and the columns block their vision properly, so we have to scrap the whole map."
Damn.
A whole week of work gone.
God diddly hard.
This happens all the time. People don't realize how much of a miracle it is when a full game actually comes out. Now, let me tell you a thing that shows how good this game is actually. My little brother has been playing. In the entire time, this game doesn't have a single advertisement for DLC.
Really?
Good.
This is a
That's good.
complete AAA title that suffered from the problem of we gotta get it out now. But sir, a part of it is not cooked
Now.
And now the first impression has tainted its opinion among them.
Nora responding, all the customers that bought that game are going to be pissed. They already are
They
pissed.
already
Oh,
are
they are
pissed.
pissed.
They already are pissed.
They're already very big mad.
The piss
big pee mad.
The piece ranges from reasonable, man, it should be better than this, to this is the worst thing I ever played. I might as well pull off my balls with a pair of tweezers bad.
Now, does this
Which is funny because that's actually a feature you can do in your character
Now,
model.
folks,
There's that too.
Now, folks, does this mean that Cyberpunk 2077 is botching horribly for all PS4 and Xbox One
No.
consoles? No, absolutely not. As already stated, the evidence brought to the table, Michael Mendes seems to be having fun. So not everyone is dissatisfied with Cyberpunk 2077.
Not at all. Even the people that
Yet.
don't like the game agree that no, this is a great game. It's just busted to shit with the technical issues. So ultimately, it looks like we have to stick back to our original advice of if you have a PC or a PS5, get it. Or honestly, my humble advice, wait. They're rolling out the patches right now, so just sit back, save your money, wait, and when the game comes out properly, the way it was supposed to, then you can buy it. But just don't encourage the industry to do this kind of thing. Honestly, don't get any AAA game on release at all, because clearly we cannot trust the AAA industry anymore. The projects are too big, too expensive, and too fucking bloated. They spent the equivalent of a whole goddamn country's GPD, or the gross income shit, whatever. GDP, just to advertise games that don't have any guarantee of success. Look at the Avengers. $100 million in advertisement budget.
And that's with the power of Sony behind it and Marvel behind it and Square Enix behind it.
Third of that.
Nora's here saying, now I'm glad I didn't buy the game.
No, wait it out until it's
Wait
complete.
it out, yeah.
Then you can get your hands on a proper good experience. Enjoy Kakarot. Get Yakuza set. You know what? If it's made in Japan, it's most likely to be completed. If only because their crunch philosophy is gonna kill them before the game is incomplete.
That's
pretty
true.
much.
The point in case is the Western AAA industry is suffering to the point that even well-respected studios like CD Projekt Red, let's be honest, their games also began. The Witcher games were pretty damn buggy at launch, but not to this extent. And yeah, like I said, we are seeing simply the effects of an industry that got too big for its own good. Overhype, over budget, over bloated. Oh shit, gotta remove that part down there.
When you focus so much on the spectacle of the game in terms of advertising and promoting it, and not enough on actually making sure the game works,
Exactly.
you run into a problem. Like, okay, let me put it to you this way. One movie that I remember that when I actually watched it was hyped like crazy. It was promoted like crazy. They promoted it for its technical features and for the star-studded cast. How many of you remember the movie Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow?
Oh, God, I hate it.
God. I wanted that movie to be good so hard.
Here's the
Same.
problem. You have a star-studded cast. You had Jude Law. You have Gwyneth
Jude Law,
Paltrow.
man.
You had Gwyneth Paltrow. You have a cameo with Angelina Jolie in it. You have this cool, epic, like, alternate history 1940s serial adventure aesthetic to it. I fucking got the movie I bought the DVD. I watched it one time, and I returned the DVD on the very next day. I've never done that before, and have not done that since.
It was that
painful.
bad.
Only because the movie was so goddamn boring.
Once
You
again.
cannot fix that boringness in post.
Fortunately, the actors who were in that movie were better remembered for other projects.
Thankfully.
Yeah,
Let's
thank
be
God.
honest, nobody remembers Sky Captain. The reaction you're gonna get is either or who.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, we're about to get to the end of the episode, so I'm just going to wrap up my thoughts right here now. Ultimately, this is still a good game that unfortunately suffered from the worst the industry has to offer. And now, I fear that this may have tainted its view in the eyes of the players. So I ask of you to please be patient and purchase the game when it's complete. And just from now on, we should have been doing this for a while now, never buy into the hype. Okay? The hype is not going to help you. The industry only cares about selling the product and nothing else. The AAA gaming industry in general has been a cesspit of shit from the beginning. So whenever the big games get announced, you wait. Don't buy games on launch.
Exactly.
Don't buy consoles on launch. Don't buy anything the video game industry offers you on launch unless it came from like Japan or something, maybe. Those are slightly more likely to not fuck you over.
I agree. Give it a couple of weeks until after the launch, so that you can get that you can get some sort of feedback from other players who have tried the game.
Exactly.
Nora's over here telling me, LMAO, oh, Juan, you acted like me when I saw Dragon Ball Evolution on HBO.
Thank you for reminding me that existed. Now I'm gonna go bleach my eyeballs by the time.
I hope you're proud.
Don't forget to wax your ears.
No, wasn't it the tall tale that came out that even though they gave Chow Yun Fat like an executive producer credit or some shit, they conned him and James Marsters into joining that cast, and they thought there was going to be like $160 million production, but it was only $80 million. They got stuck.
The moment you realize the characters don't even bother looking like their counterparts, you know shit's about to go.
Yeah.
But that is a painful story for another time. We're getting close to the end of the episode. I would like to thank you all for listening to Juan rant about Star Wars and Joe about wrestling and about video games.
Absolutely.
So I will pass over the ball to our illustrious leader so he can close this curtain.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Cybernetic curtains, that is.
No, absolutely, folks. And this has been another exciting week, for better or worse. There's always something to talk about in our large and humble nerd community. And every week, we always have our finger on the pulse of nerddom. We have our channel that has
shit. I'm sorry. I almost forgot.
Real quick.
Pornhub is dead. Go
Oh, yeah.
watch porn somewhere else because they fucked you over too.
Oh, yeah, that happened. God dang
that
it.
happened too. But that being said, yes, we have our finger on the pulse of the nerd community. Week after week, we put out the best content we can on all 4 shows, on all of our social media platforms, and we do it all for you. Never forget that. And this has been nothing short of exciting, as always been every Saturday evening. Juan, Plug us away.
Thank you very much for watching this week's live stream edition of the Ravens Flock. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button or the follow button, which is located down here. Angel, help us out.
Angel
Point
is
to the
looking
bottom.
down. He's at the right direction.
That works.
Serve the sound-based pendulum as it slowly descends into the crevice depths of my cross.
Be sure to comment on this video. Be sure to share it with all your friends. Be sure to let all your closest geek friends know about the Ravens Flock and how we strive every single week to continue to make your voice our mission. Until next time, we would like to, before I sign us off, I'd like to go ahead and wish everyone very happy holidays, and we have
Yes.
Christmas coming up next week.
Merry
So Merry
Christmas
Christmas to those of you who celebrate, and those of you who don't, enjoy
You're
your
burning
week.
hell, you infidel pagans!
Angel!
Sit down and eat your fruit bread, you little shit!
You know,
No,
I'm gonna have
seriously, I'm inviting you to my home. Come here, have some fruit bread.
We're
We
gonna have
haven't-
panettone. We're gonna have a panettone, okay?
Exactly.
Like a proper panettone.
Let me put it this way: even if you do not believe in it, even if you don't celebrate it, please make an effort to unite with your family, because we have gone through a really rough year and we gotta take our happiness when we can get it. And if you don't, then that's on you, you cynical, bitter piece of shit. And I hope that you suffer as much as you bring it up on yourself.
And
Until
this is coming from a cynical piece of shit.
Actually, I'm a positive nihilist person.
Oh, okay. But go
until
on.
next time, folks, continue to follow us on Facebook.com/The Ravens Flock, Twitter.com/Ravens Flock 13, Instagram.com/The Ravens Flock Online, home of the Wednesday Night War, every Thursday evening at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Be sure to check out our uncensored interview and review podcast, The Black Files, on Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, and Stitcher. Support the Ravens Flock on our Teespring store, teespring.com/store/the-Ravens-Flock. Use our promo code FSHIP2020 for free shipping on all your purchases with us, and tune in every Saturday afternoon from 5:30 to 7 p.m. Eastern for Los Amigos Play Live, and 7:30 to 9 p.m. Eastern for the Ravens Flock Live on twitch.tv/the Ravens Flock Online and youtube.com/the Ravens Flock, home of the Black Files, Los Amigos Play Live, and the Ravens Flock Live.
All
Angel.
right, folks, this has
What's up?
been an awesome, exciting December 18th edition of
Today's the
19th.
19th.
Thank you.
Yesterday was
The
It's
the
going
awesome-
by fast.
The awesome December 19th edition, another exciting live stream of our flagship show since 2013. Ladies and gentlemen, we are the Ravens Flock, and we are out.
Remember, this is the way.